Hello, and welcome to the Fuel Better podcast. I am your host, Evan Lynch, and today I'm going to be talking about why I don't use before and after pictures in my online coaching business. There's a couple of reasons. If you're curious, stay tuned and find out why. So, welcome to episode 2 of the Fuel Better podcast. I'm still your host, Evan Lynch, and today we're going to be talking about something that I hold it very close to my heart, and it's actually a core value I have, and I'll get to that in a minute. But if you can't tell from the title of the podcast, what we're going to talk about today is a couple of the reasons why I don't use before and after pictures in my online coaching business. And it's not for a lack of success with weight loss, because actually in 2021, I've had an average weight loss so far of 7% body weight amongst clients. Now, not everyone gets that. Some people get more, some people achieve slightly less. That's the average, 7%. It's a lot. You'll never see that posted on social media. It's just something that doesn't sit very well with me. So, right off the bat, okay, there's one thing that I fundamentally disagree with when it comes to online coaches using clients as a marketing tool. Believe me, I understand the need to make content to show people that you're good at what you do, but to me, sacrificing a client's personal journey and reducing their identity to that of, hey, look how much weight I helped this person lose, using them as a marketing tool, just ethically, it's quite wrong, I don't like it at all. I share stories, I share the opinions, the views of clients I had. Never, ever before and after pictures. I really don't like it. It's something that constantly irks me. I recall personally, back in my sports days, people would have looked at me as nothing but a pair of runners. Okay, how is training going? When are you racing next? And no other type of conversation would be facilitated other than that. So I see kind of this one-dimensional approach to health and fitness, and it's fine. It's okay to want to lose weight. It's just not the only thing. It's not the most important thing. Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of my clients come to me to help achieve weight loss, and that's perfectly fine. As I said, no issue at all with that. It's the motivation behind it. It's what else are we trying to achieve, and it's what do we do when we reach your target weight? Is that it? Do we say, okay, job done? Now what you need to do is put your weight back on and come back to me so we can help you shave it off again. So right off the bat again, when you deduce everything down to a before and after picture, what you do is you make weight the be all and end all. And that's only a game you can win for a certain amount of time, okay? So it has a defined endpoint. You can only ever lose a discrete amount of weight. So I'm about 80 kilos right now, and I estimate that I'm about 18 or 19% body fat. I'm not super defined around my midsection. It's not too bad. Somewhere around high teens, possibly 20. And that's going to change. I'm doing a little bit too much sitting down and a couple too many fat whites and brownies for my sins, but I digress heavily here. Let's say I wanted to make a bit of change at my weight, and I said, right, the goal is to reach 75 kilos. Okay, lose 5 kilos. That's fine. That's a normal goal. A lot of people have that goal. What do I do when I hit my 5 kilos? Do I stop engaging in healthy behaviors? Do I maybe then learn how to maintain? Do I regain my weight? Statistically, most people regain their weight plus some, particularly if they engage in excessive or restrictive food behaviors to achieve that weight loss. That's not great. That's not a great trade-off. You see it all the time, yo-yo dieting, cyclically losing and gaining the same few pounds. It's very, very common. And I think personally, before and after pictures potentiate this. Hey, I'm a flashy PT. Try my shitty 1200 calorie a day diet and you can look like this for a very temporary period of time after which you will regain all of your weight again plus some, and then feel like you can never successfully maintain weight loss. I just don't like the message it sends across. So I don't really know what my first point is. Maybe just from personal experience, focusing on more outcomes than just weight and not hinging all of your motivation around a predefined endpoint might make it a more sustainable goal. So if you focus on the process, the things you do to achieve weight loss or to achieve a healthy weight or to have a little bit of a better diet, i.e. focus on hitting your fiber, eating the rainbow on a daily basis, remaining pretty active, watching extras like what you drink, your condiments, sauces, portions, etc. All of those small, boring things go a really, really, really long way, and they never end. Those are things you can do until the day you die. So that's first thing. When you look at those pictures, you think, that's the end goal. And that brings me on to my next point. You look at that before and after picture, and you look at the after, and the way it's marketed is that I had Patricia on my coaching program, and during which Patricia managed to lose X amount of weight. Now she is the best version of herself she could possibly be, even though the only thing that's changed in her life is that I told her she couldn't eat chocolate, and now she's slightly lighter. Odds are Patricia still has all of the same anxieties she would have had. She still has the same bills to pay. She still has the same pressure at work, maybe same commitments outside of work. All that is still there. Losing weight is not a cure-all, and it's most certainly not a fucking antidote for happiness, okay? That's one home truth that I will make sure a client grasps, understands, or at least hears me say when we start off, if their motivation is to lose weight in order to be happier or less stressed or insert emotional change here. That's not how it works. So I didn't ever want to be part of that, I suppose, tidal wave of people pushing, promoting, supporting the idea that working with a nutritionist or paying attention to your diet is all about weight loss, and the only way you can be the happiest or best version of yourself is to look like a cadaver, or one of those things used in an anatomy lesson to show muscles to physiotherapy students. You don't need to do that, okay? So I think that's reason two. I'm kind of doing this off a very loose script. I just wanted to talk and see what exactly spilled out of my head. So, there's a big movement there at the moment called HAES, Health at Every Size, and it's based on the premise that you can be metabolically healthy at really any given weight or body type. And I think, I know it kind of grew out of the culture developing of fat phobic people wanting to be super lean, super thin, at one body image being championed, and the Health at Every Size movement. It's a great idea. There's a great kind of thought behind it. It's a good sentiment. It's something people should grasp, that you don't have to look like a bodybuilder to be healthy. And again, when you reduce it to just weight loss in every aspect is not always a good thing. Like in clinical settings, if you have cancer, let's say, or liver disease, or you're on dialysis, weight loss is correlated with increased risk of death. If you're an athlete training at a real high level, you're already low body fat, losing weight might be detrimental to your performance, to your recovery, to your hormonal health, depending on where your body fat percentage is. If you're a coach, or if you're someone who works with athletes and you're telling them, listen, you need to lose weight, even how that's worded can have pretty severe side effects on the athlete. Oh, my coach said I need to be leaner, or I need to be lighter. That must mean there's something wrong with me. Okay, so there are more things to you than weight. There are other important metrics to watch. So a good example is people doing something like a 1200 calorie a day diet, actually just skipping days of eating, so fasting or ketogenic diets, or any kind of crazy stuff. to achieve weight loss, and you do a dietary analysis on them and you realize that the trade-off for doing this is that they're now deficient in pretty much every nutrient under the sun, or they got almost no protein, or they're walking around really, really hungry, or they're giving themselves an electrolyte imbalance or anemia in the process. These things sound far-fetched. They're not. They happen. A real-life example of this is relative energy deficiency syndrome, whereby an athlete chronically underconsumes calories, or there's just a big mismatch, even not a mismatch, that's not even a word. There's a big mismatch between their input and their output. And just to do a short list of some of the outcomes of RED-S, or relative energy deficiency syndrome: immunological impairment, gastrointestinal disturbances, reproductive problems, impotence, stress fractures, anemia, poor mental health. Those are all pretty common, well-known outcomes of restricting your energy. So, again, I ask you, if your goal is to lose weight, do we need to do it at the detriment of your health? Is weight loss more important than metabolic health, mental health, quality of life, dietary enjoyment, the ability to socialize with your diet, the ability to share your diet with your family? Or are you happy, and do you think you need to go to brown rice, steamed broccoli and boiled chicken breast route? If that's your cup of tea, fair play to you. I have yet to meet a person who ever wanted to do that, who would enjoy it, and who would say, yeah, do you know what, I'm happy to do that for the next 5 years of my life. So be wary of before and after pictures, particularly if there's a marketing pitch under it to try my 4-week program, okay? And just to put it out there, a successful weight loss campaign, according to the research, is losing 5% or more of your body weight and keeping it off for 2 years. So whatever you do within 4 weeks, number one, it's likely to be extreme. But number two, that's not a successful weight loss. That's short-term weight loss. If I didn't drink any water for the next day, or if I had no carbohydrates for a day, or if I gave myself severe diarrhea, I would have successful short-term weight loss. Think long-term. How can I keep this weight off for a very, very long time? So just to go back to it then, there is a lot of research that shows that if you go on a restrictive short-term diet, in almost every scenario within 6 months, you'll have regained your weight plus about 10 to 20%, depending on how severe your diet was. And that can put you in a place that you don't want to be. It's called defeated pre-contemplator, okay? I'm going to do an episode on this in the future. But the premise is, you're after trying a couple of methods that have been sold to you as magic, the cure-all, the thing to lose weight, the thing that works every time. And you do that, and you do lose weight, but you gain it all back. And your perception is, well, I've tried all these quote-unquote tried and tested methods, and I still have yet to lose my weight successfully. And your conclusion might be this: I'm not able to lose weight, or I'm incapable of losing weight, or nothing works for me, but it works for other people. Maybe it's just me. If you do that enough times, if you go to Slimming World enough, or Weight Watchers enough, or you try all the random diets out there, and you only get that short-term success, and then you pick up and try again whenever you reach a tipping point on the scales for you personally, you'll be left with that belief that nothing will work for you, and eventually you will stop trying, which is a pity, because that scenario totally depends on who you're exposed to when you seek out help with weight loss. And it's something that bothers me, because for most people, when they're looking to lose weight, they're only thinking of the end point. So they look at the PT or the nutritionist that has the most stark contrast images. Okay, they don't think about how were those achieved, what was the time frame this was achieved in, is it sustainable, what do those people look like 6 months post weigh-in or post picture, are they happier, is their diet better? No, people don't factor these things in, but they're really, really important. So I'm aware I'm kind of going off on one here. This is a topic that I feel very, very strongly about, and this isn't just talk. Look back through my social media. you won't see these pictures. It's not something I do. So just to go back on it then, if I as a coach or a nutritionist, whatever, nutrition expert, whatever you want to call me, as long as it's nice, please call me nice things. As long as I'm working with someone and they're getting a benefit from it, that's really, really important. So from the coaching point of view, yes, there are KPIs. If you want to lose weight, weight loss is a key performance indicator. I can't, give you a 1600, 1500, 1200 calorie diet, depending on size and energy output. 1600 calories is genuinely what some people need to maintain their weight. That's not a lot of food, by the way, for most people. But if my whole discourse with you is about, we need to push the weight down at any cost, and then when you achieve that weight loss, I go ahead and I take those before and afters and I stick them on Instagram or whatever, it totally takes away the achievement from the client. All those decisions, those moments of restraint, those moments of pushing themselves or of forcing themselves to make new habits, try new things, put the effort in, and I reduce it all down to a single post so I can fill in my next coaching spot. It's just wrong. I actually think it's disrespectful. Personally, I find it very disrespectful. So yeah, again, that's just a point of principle. The last thing I'm going to say on this topic, and I want to hear what you guys think. Let me know. Are we in an image-obsessed world? Do people think about this stuff too much? Is it championed being lean, and do a lot of people see that as the be-all and end-all? Should we, make a movement for quality and process-orientated coaching as opposed to 4-week program and a before and after picture? I think so. I'm curious to see what other people think. Maybe I'm just odd, or old school, or new school, or my own school. The last thing, I don't want to contribute to any of the things I've just said. Okay, so when I work with people, I put in a heavy emphasis on the educational side of what we're doing, the actual mechanisms behind weight loss, why short-term diets don't work, why people feel the way they do, why weight loss is hard, and why we need to make it sustainable, i.e., do you think you could do these things for 5 years happily? That's sustainable. And I've been asking people this for years. I don't want to go around then and totally fly in the face of my beliefs and my core values by just throwing those before and afters up. That's not a message that I want to contribute to. One of the whole reasons of this podcast is so I can get the message out there. This is going to be one of the messages, by the way, that there is more to you than weight. If you're working with someone like me, you're an athlete, you're more than a number. Weight loss can help. If you're a professional cyclist, weight loss can help, but there are more important things like watts per kilogram, being able to get through a session without bunking, not actually being physically hungry all the time, and nutrient requirements. All of those are equally important as weight when it comes to performance. So that's the performance side of things. For general people looking to lose weight, I ask you, why are you trying to lose weight? How have you tried in the past? And if you find yourself in that defeated pre-contemplator or that phase where you've tried in the past and things have not gone well and you think weight loss is not something for you, challenge that thought. Maybe your methods were flawed. Maybe you were just exposed to poor tactics, poor coaching, poor guidance, and ultimately this is a business. My business model is that when I'm finished with people, they should never need to talk to me again unless it's to say hello. And for the vast majority of my clients, that occurs within 3 months. The vast majority of people. That's a crap business model, okay? I am not a businessman. I am a coach who's here to help people. But if you have multinational companies who make a living off of weight loss diets, there is not a hope they're going to bring you to dietary self-actualization or teach you independence. No way. That's crap for business. That means you're a one-time customer. So just think about that. If you found this episode useful or something I said resonated with you, I would really like to hear from you. If you think this is an important message, please share the episode, tell a friend, tell a coach that it's not all about weight, that maybe we need to start challenging that perception. And like it, share it, follow it, and that helps this podcast grow. It is only a new podcast, it's in its infancy, and I'm hoping to make this a pretty permanent thing. So anyone who's listening currently, thank you for doing so. You are a Fuel Better podcast OG, and I thank you for that. And the support so far has been really nice. It's really kind. It's great to hear. So yeah, guys, that's all from me. No more before and after pictures, please. Thank you very much. And with that, I'm going to end the episode. Okay, guys, so thank you for listening into today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the podcast if you found it useful. Help me get these key messages out there. I want to change the way we look at health, fitness, nutrition, and weight loss, and I need your help. So if you think the message in today's podcast is important or worth sharing, please do it. Stay tuned. I'm going to have more episodes next week, and I'm going to have some cool guests coming on in the coming weeks. So yeah, that's episode 2. That's a wrap. Have a great week, everybody, and I will talk to you guys later.